Hey, welcome back to another edition of the Games of the Month. Games you should be listening to on KDUZ, KARP, and KGLB. I'm Joel Niemeyer, and that right there is Jeremy Stender. Good day to you, Jeremy.
How are we doing today, Joel?
Doing very well, and now that the calendar has turned into December, we say goodbye to the fall season, hello to the winter sports season, and in addition to the Christmas holiday, there's a lot of there's basketball, there's hockey, there's wrestling, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up in sports.
You know, it really, Joel, it's kind of right. This is the doldrums of winter now that we're kind of hitting, and if you're sports guys like us, this is how we pass the time. You know, we love a good high school basketball game, a good wrestling match, a hockey game. I mean, that's kind of what we live for at this time of the year, trying to get us through until we get to March and April. But, you know, we saw how fast the fall went by, Joel. Before we know it, we're going to be previewing section tournaments, you know, at the end of February and early March. It always goes fast, but looking forward to it.
Well, let's talk about some of the games that folks will be listening to. We'll go in chronological order by date, and starting off on KDUZ, December 16th, it's wrestling as Hutchinson, Buffalo Lake, Hector Stewart will take on Glencoe, Silver Lake, Lester Prairie. Now, neither one of us is very big wrestling people, but one thing both you and I know very well is that a Hutch GSL rivalry, no matter if it's wrestling or basketball or baseball, those are some big games.
They're always big games, big matches, and, you know, probably two programs, Joel, that aren't sending each other Christmas cards. Let's just leave it at that. You know, these kids live for it. It's a great opportunity to show their talents, and, you know, you've kind of got that battle of North McLeod County against South McLeod County. Makes it a lot of fun, and you know, especially a GSL program that we've seen you know, have some state qualifiers over the last few years. It seems like it's building a little bit. Seems like there's a little momentum on the wrestling side. I know that this is one that the GSL and Lester Prairie wrestlers have circled on the calendar.
Let's stay with the rivalry, and we're kind of going to stay with that all month here on this video. As over on KGLB, a couple nights later on December 18th, it's a boys and girls basketball doubleheader. Glencoe, Silver Lake, and Norwood Young America. In addition to being good basketball games, there's usually some sort of fundraiser. There's some sort of things going along with the event like this.
Yeah, you know, I didn't look into what is going on that night, but I know that there is something. This has become an annual tradition, Joel. One night where the boys and girls play on both sides. You know, and it's always exciting. You know, we're used to, Joel, seeing, you know, maybe the Central girls have a little bit of an advantage, right, over the last few years. We remember all the state tournament teams. This is a little bit different Central team. They're more guard heavy. Coach Lemke probably be playing a little bit more four out, one in. And you got a GSL team with some state tournament experience coming off that nice run. Now, a couple of those girls no longer there, but really a lot of solid contributors. On the other side, you got a boys team at GSL who's coming off a section championship loss. So they got a little bit of a taste, and they did lose some seniors. But, you know, when you got Mitchell Jostowiak, Eli Erke, guys like that coming back, there's big expectations this year for that GSL program. And then, you know, the Central boys have been down for a few years, but they've kind of been waiting for this one class. And this class of boys now, they're juniors, and they're all really, really good athletes. It should make for a fun night of basketball. If folks want to mark their calendar, you get a little 2-for-1 getting to see two good high school varsity games.
Then we'll wrap up on KARP boys basketball December 23rd. Kimball takes on Dassel Cokato in a big rivalry. And, you know, for DC, I know they had a really young squad last year. They had a really tough year, kind of having to fight back on a lot of things. But these are DC kids that they just got done with a run in US Bank Stadium for football. So, you know, these are athletes, and just having that experience from other programs that we've seen, other schools, winning can breed winning.
And I think that that's what you're going to see. And I think you can say that about Kimball too, Joel. You know, that's a football program that 2 and 3 years ago was 1-15 over the course of 2 years. And look what they've turned around. I think this year their football team was 9-1. So to your point, winning breeds winning. I think that that's a good commonality there. I think you've got two teams that, you know, they've got a little bit of a taste. And oftentimes we see that carry over from one season to the next.
Sounds good. Hey, we'll check in next month.
Looking forward to it. Thanks, Joel.
Thank you. That's Jeremy. I'm Joel. Listen to those games and more on the radio, online, or on your device.